Morning, everyone, and welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. So this morning, I'm coming to you from my hunting shed. And why in the world would I be sitting here making all this noise doing a video from my hunting shed? Well, it's almost 10 o'clock, and I've seen 5 deer, and they were 300 yards away, at least 300 yards away, and they were going away from me. So this time of year, the weather, you go from 50 degrees to 25 degrees to 60 degrees and then down to 40 degrees. And then we're in perpetual mud season right now, where as long as it's freezing, you don't have mud, but when it's not freezing, you have mud. And it won't dry up probably until late spring, early summer at this point. But, anyways, so while I'm out here this morning, and like I said, there's just strange morning. I've been in contact with a couple friends who's hunting in the hollow here, and they're sending me messages saying, "Man, I ain't seen nothing. You seen anything?" "Oh, I haven't seen anything. You seen anything?" So they're just not moving today. And it's second day of deer season. Opening day was yesterday, so not uncommon for them to be just completely off their patterns and everything. So, but part of hunting is being out here and just enjoying what God gave us and His creation and peace and serenity. So, like I said, at this point, yes, I want to put venison in our freezer. I'm still looking, if you'll notice, and I'm not that I'm ignoring you guys, but I am keeping my eyes open. Um, but part of being out here is just enjoying it. And again, yes, I want to put venison in the freezer, but am I going to get upset if I don't get a deer today? No. I got 2 weeks. I got all 2 weeks off to do it, and then there's going to be, I think, there's one or two more doe seasons extended after this, plus muzzleloader season. So, yeah, there's the opportunity to put venison in the freezer is plenty for right now, at least for the next month. So, anyways, while I'm out here, when you come deer hunting, there's always the opportunity to try different foods. And what I mean by that is you take portable foods with you, and portable foods are the type of foods that you'd be putting like in your pantry for canned meats, for example. Okay, and I'm a big proponent of canned meats, the lower sodium type, because of the type of diet that I follow. I follow a ketogenic type diet, kind of a mix between a ketogenic and a carnivore, and they refer to it as a ketovore. Whatever, I try to keep my carbohydrates below 20 grams a day, and it works well for me. I've come off of my blood pressure medicine on it. I've come completely off of my reflux medicine on it. I've lost about 25 pounds, and I feel much better. I don't have near the problems that I was experiencing when I ate the standard American diet, which was high carb, refined carbs, and just nastiness. And even though we didn't eat fast food or didn't eat out a lot, just eating that type of diet, a lot of highly refined foods, was just wreaking havoc on my body. So ketogenic diet is very sustainable. It's very easy for me. Sure, I miss some foods, but I don't miss the aches and pains and the other health problems that kind of went along with it. So this morning, and I was a little hungry because I follow intermittent fasting, and I usually follow a 16-8 or an 18-6 timeline or a schedule where I fast for 16 to 18 hours. And then I only eat during that 6 to 8 hour window there. And I usually only eat once in a 24-hour period. And actually, sometimes my fast will go out 24, 26, 28 hours, depending. And, it's very sustainable and very easy when you eat like this, because the foods that you're eating are very nutrient dense. Of course, it's meat. You're eating beef, you're eating pork, you're eating chicken, cruciferous vegetables and things like that, even cheeses and stuff. Certain cheeses, you don't want to eat like Velveeta and all that other highly refined, highly processed stuff. But, your food's very satiating. So it lasts you when you eat. I mean, if I eat a 14-ounce ribeye steak, I'm good for 24 hours. And, sometimes I'll have a salad and a steak. And that's it. That's all I'll have for a whole 24 hours. And be fine with it, completely fine with it. But anyways, so it's worked for me. Like I said, completely come off my blood pressure medicine, completely come off my reflux medicine, and I've done well on it. I've lost weight, and it's sustainable for me, very easy. So when we talk about that kind of stuff, we talk about food stores for prepping and what you're going to put in your pantry. And two couple previous videos, you see that we did beans and rice And then last night or yesterday, the wife was doing potato flakes. And, those are completely foods that I typically won't eat. And it's just because of the diet that I follow. Um, and I do well with it again, and I don't have near the health problems. But in a situation, first of all, I got 2 kids, right? So kids are going to eat potatoes. Kids are going to eat beans and rice if done right. You know what I mean, with the right mixture of stuff. But those are foods more closer to what a kid would eat, or you could get them to eat. And trying to teach a 7-year-old that you're in a survival situation because the food supply chain is just completely wiped out, or the pandemic has hit its 10th wave at this point, or whatever the situation may be. They'll learn quick, unfortunately, but you got to have foods that kids are going to eat and be able to sustain themselves with. But so canned meat's one of the big things that I put away, and not only what we can at home, which we know is much healthier, but store bought canned meats, commercially canned meats. And of course, probably one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst would be the Vienna sausages. And these are good little portable on-the-go snacks. This is the hot and spicy type. It's neither hot nor spicy. It's salty and tangy, and that's about the best I got out of it. These are not terrible tasting, and there's different flavors. There's hot and spicy. There's barbecue. There's smoked, and then there's the regular, the traditional, and they all taste fine to me. But there's 7 sausages in a can, and there's 760 grams of sodium in every 4 sausages. So if there's 7 sausages in there, I'm getting probably about 12 to 1300 grams of, or 760 milligrams, I'm sorry. But if I eat like a can of these 7 sausages, I'm probably getting anywhere from 12 to 1400 grams of sodium. And that's a lot in a little can like that, okay? So with canned meats, the biggest thing you want to watch for, of course, is the amount of sodium that you're getting. Now, one of the other things that I got was this is Great Value pulled pork, and it's barbecued. So this completely blew my way of eating today, because this has 4 servings in it, and there's 6 grams of carbohydrates. Is that right? 9 grams of total carbohydrates in a serving, and there's 4 servings in that little can, and I eat the whole thing. Now, it's 25 degrees out here. This is canned food, and you see that orange stuff right there? That's the fat. Now, I know some people, oh, that's disgusting, I wouldn't eat that. Well, at room temperature, you're not going to see that fat. But when it's 25 degrees outside, you're going to see that fat. And you don't want to heat these up in this can, because these cans have a plastic liner in them. And, they say, some of them say they're safe. Others say they're, don't do it. I'm not heating anything up in one of these cans. If I need to heat it up, I have stainless steel cans to, camping stuff to heat it up in. But so I ate it cold. It's not bad. It's actually not bad at all. This would be something that if we had to live off of our food stores, I could mix this with beans. I can mix this with rice, or mix it with beans and rice, and that's a meal. That's a full meal. So, like I said, the flavor, it wasn't bad at all. It's not something I want to eat day in and day out. So when we work on food stores and everything, and putting away for disasters and putting away for emergencies, make sure the foods that you're putting away are something you're going to be able to tolerate and eat. Because, like I said, I don't want to eat it every day, but it's good enough. I could eat it a couple times a week if I had to. And of course, mixing it with rice or mixing it with beans gives different flavors, different textures and stuff. So when you're putting your food stores away, make sure what you're putting away, you know what it tastes like. You have to sample your foods. So if you're going to go out and buy Spam, and if you've never had Spam, you need to try Spam before you go buying a bunch of it, putting away. If you've never had potted meat, if you've never had Vienna sausages, if you've never had the pulled pork, you got to try it. So buy 1 can of each when you go, and take the time to try it and say, hey, okay, this is good, this is bad. This isn't something I want much of. One of the other cans that I got is called, it's a Great Value brand. It's fajita steak strips. It's nasty. It's really not good at all. It tastes nothing like fajita flavor. It tastes nothing like steak strips, believe me. pretty much I would equate that to canned dog food. So it's not good, and it definitely doesn't match the name of fajita on the can. And I have a couple of those, and I ate the one, and I just left the other. So it'll be there if I ever have to eat it, but not be buying that. They have roast beef, and you have to. There's a couple different brands of the roast beef. There's the Equate brand, the Good Value, not Equate, but the Great Value or whatever it is from Walmart. Or there's other brands out there, and you have to try them because they're all going to be a little different, and see which one you like the best of. I mean, if it's something you like, yeah, this is all right, try a couple different brands and make sure you get the one you like, because what you don't want to end up doing is getting in a situation where you're relying on your food stores to survive. And what you have is not what you want, not what you like. So, starvation settles in, you're going to eat what's there. Or you get hungry enough, you're going to eat what's there. But the big thing is not getting bored. There's one of the other YouTube channels I watch, I subscribe to, and I learn a lot from these guys. And the guy decided he was going to live off of his food stores for like 2 weeks. Or he was going to try to live off of his food stores for a month and see because he was coming time to do some rotating, that what was going to run out or what was going to soon come to, time to rotate out and put fresh or newer in. And he couldn't make it past 2 weeks. He just got to the point where he was so tired of eating what he had, basically beans and rice and not a whole lot of anything else. And he just couldn't stand it. And so that helped him learn to diversify his food stores. And, when you have kids, you have to consider that as well. My kids are not going to sit there. My daughter would probably eat that pulled pork way long before my boy would. He's not a big meat eater. He's a carb eater. He loves hot dogs. He loves chicken nuggets. He loves chicken patties, like chicken sandwiches and stuff like that. And he loves bologna sandwiches. But when it comes to anything else, he's a mac and cheese. He is a spaghetti with no meat type of kid. So he's carb heavy, where my daughter will fight you over a pork chop. And so keep your fingers back. So you have to keep, like I said, don't consider just yourself, but your family as well. Know what your kids like to eat. Know what your wife likes and what you guys could live on comfortably. So, and comfortably being, palate-wise. So, and that's why we have freezers full of meat and everything, and that's why we're canning a bunch of meat ourselves, or home canning a bunch of meat, because we know where this meat comes from. We raised most of it, and we're canning it at home, or I've hunted it, we've raised it, whatever, and, we're using that as our own home canned meats instead of depending on and relying on the commercialized portion of it, because we know what's put in ours. If I don't want sugar in my canned pork, I'm not putting sugar in it. So those are the things that, like I said, in a have-to situation, where typically with my diet, I don't eat rice, I don't eat beans. I'm going to eat rice and beans if we have to live on our food stores. But I'm going to make it enjoyable because you have to. I mean, even though I'll suffer the ill effects of it, I would have to kind of limit and ration myself a little bit and keep my carbohydrate intake very low, just because of the health effects that I have from carbohydrates anymore. And that is reflux and just constant GI, stomach and stuff, problems. So that's why I keep a low carb diet, and ketogenic and carnivore kind of works best for me. So anyways, that's pretty much going to be it today. I mean, I wanted to, since I had an opportunity to try some of this. Now, Vienna sausages I've eaten for years. I mean, pretty much when we go out in the field when I was in the military, like I said on a previous video, MREs are not something you want to live on if you don't have to. Yes, they'll sustain you, but man, I tell you what, after about a week, you'll find out. So, Vienna sausages, Van de Kamp's beanies and weenies, sardines and smoked herring and stuff like that. That's all great. See, that's good canned stuff that you can put aside and eat. And, a lot of people don't like it, but hey, it worked for me. So that's what I pretty much lived on. But like I said, try your different foods that you're going to be putting away. If you're not familiar with them, try some different brands. And that way, if you do end up having to depend on your food stores to get by for a while, you're not constantly bored or eating the same thing over and over and over. So that's it, folks. I'm going to kind of hang out here for about the next 45 minutes, and then I'm going to go in for a few hours, and I will come back out this afternoon. Like I said, it's not all about the killing out here. just sitting out here enjoying what the good Lord blessed us with is probably the better part of this than it is anything else. So give us a like, leave us a comment, tell us what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you would, and hit that bell icon if this interests you and it's something that you'd like to be notified of when new videos come out. So some more how-to videos coming up in the future, and take care and God bless.